Now, let me introduce you to our speaker, who is Dr. Harshada Mule, who is HR and General Management Faculty, ITM Group of Institutions, Kharghar, Navi Mumbai. Harshada is a renowned academician who has been in the field of management education for 20 years and has worked in IT industry as an HR professional for 5 years. She is a double PG in Arts and Management and is a doctorate in Emotional Intelligence. Harshada is ICF ACTP trained life coach and possesses various certifications in NLP, life coaching, dance movement, psychotherapy, and management, and has published 26 research papers in various national and international research journals and is the recipient of Dr. Ram Tarneja Award for Best Article in BMA. Harshada has participated in national and international seminars and conferences during the past 2 decades and has traveled within the country and abroad on official assignments. Over to Dr. Harshada Mule.
Thank you very much. Thanks, Sonia ma'am, for the detailed introduction. And again, I'm very thankful to PGDAV College for inviting me again. This is the second seminar organized by Entrepreneurship and Innovation Cell run by the PGDAV College. So respected management and the faculty member, I would like to thank everyone as well as the students attending this webinar. This is again one of the most important vertical to go through, as said rightly by Sonia ma'am. Innovation is the keyword, that is the one which will sustain us in the market wherein the changes are continuously happening. So I would like all to take through the short presentation which will take the students attending this webinar through the concept of entrepreneurship and innovation, and then what are the likely and current trends which are happening in the business environment due to the entrepreneurship which is upcoming and taken up by many graduates who are looking forward towards making a career in this, as well as what are the innovations happening in the business environment and how these innovations are impacting the industry and how these innovations can be looked after as one of the major career options. So let me share the presentation here and we shall start shortly. May I request the host to stop the screen sharing so I can share my presentation. Yeah, thank you very much. I hope my presentation is visible and everyone can see this. So as we said, the topic is entrepreneurship and innovation as a career option. Now this is one of the area which is considered as one of the key for success in futures to come. Entrepreneurship is looked upon by many graduates after completing the graduation. There are many students or candidates who are looking forward to start their own venture. And this is the need of the nation today. This will generate employment, and not only employment, it will help the existing businesses also to sustain and create a lot of opportunities for the people in our nation. So this is one of the key area which can be definitely considered by the graduates, or in case you want to do further post-graduation. Entrepreneurship or starting on your own is considered as one of the most respected and need of the nation today. Innovation is another term which goes hand in hand with innovation, with businesses also to sustain in the given environment. Because if we look at today's business environment is quite volatile. We are talking about the VUCA world, wherein changes are constant, and change is the only thing which will remain constant over the years. Traditionally, if we look at our business environment, which was comparatively stable before the year 1990, after that, when the government introduced the concept like LPG, which was focused on liberalization, privatization, and globalization in those days, the entire business segment started focusing on diversification and expansion, because this was the duration where the foreign companies were allowed to come in India, and we became a mixed economy, as well as Indian companies were allowed to go abroad. With this change in the environment, those who were the traditional companies, since they were not innovative, could not sustain in the given environment. Then the businesses wanted to look forward to implement innovative ideas, because they would get competition from anywhere. In the globalization era, competition is not necessarily only from the existing players who are the people in which already you have established a business, but it may come from anywhere. For example, if we talk about Reliance and Tata, traditionally they were into a certain business, certain fixed business. Like if we take instance of Reliance, originally they were into petrochemicals. That is their core competency over the time. But over the time, they have acquired into multiple businesses to sustain in the marketplace. Now they are practically into fintech, they are into insurance, they are into retail, they are into each and every segment, including even educational institutions. So is the spread of the organization. Another example we can quote as Tata Group. Tata originally started with steel industry. Now we can see the presence of Tata in each and everywhere. So with this change in the business environment, unless you create your own uniqueness in the market, unless you bring in innovations, you cannot sustain in the given marketplace, because that's constantly keep on changing. And you have to cope up, you have to adapt, you have to be flexible in order to bring these changes in your startup. If you are starting on your own, if it is a new venture, you have to constantly keep on innovating. If it is an existing business, again, you have to keep on constantly innovating, because you can't afford to become stagnant in the marketplace today. You have to constantly bring in innovations. So innovations may happen, for example, in the processes. Like for instance, earlier processes were happening manually. If we take example of a banking industry, banks were doing the manual transactions. If we talk to our parents or forefathers, they used to go to the bank manually. They would stand in the queue. Then they will get their passbook updated manually at the counter. Now we can see it has become core banking. Internet banking has taken over the entire manual transaction. You can practically do transaction from anywhere in the world or in a nation. You can pass on the information, or you can do as well as the money transaction. Now banks have also got diversified into mutual fund and other services like insurance, other than their original core competency of just lending and receiving money. So this is one instance. Even healthcare industry, if we talk about hospitals, they are getting automated completely. There are even instances, there is one hospital, Arvind Eye Care in Chennai, which has implemented even Six Sigma. They have gone to that extent, which is one of the major quality application. So that's the innovation in the process. You can change your existing processes. If we talk about the traditionally how the departments were running, for example, if we take instance of human resource department, earlier they were doing the recruitment and selection manually. If they have the requirement, they will advertise in the newspaper, they'll call the people for interview. But nowadays there are softwares which you can use even in the HR applications, in HR function. Like there is a software of human resource information system, or recruitment and selection has become now virtual. You can outsource it and you can get it done completely online. Training has gone now virtual on the virtual platforms. Particularly post-pandemic scenario, we have seen a lot of innovations have happened even in the age tech industry, into healthcare industry. So innovation is the buzzword today. And unless we keep on constantly innovating or bringing new changes, change the existing products, change the existing processes, or introduce something new, it is very difficult to get the customers in the business today. Because today we can't see customer loyalty anywhere, which was present in earlier days. For instance, if we buy earlier from one particular organization, take instance of a toothpaste, we would prefer either Colgate or Pepsodent. Nowadays, there is no customer loyalty because there are so many players in the market, like providing different kind of variety based on customer choices, customized varieties available. In that case, it is very difficult to catch the customers for a startup. So without innovation, even if you start a new venture, you can't sustain in the market, because getting customers is very difficult, because you already have existing competitors and you have to use the same customers which your competitors are using. You can't generate new customers in that market. In that case, how do you attract those customers to your startup? Your own business is a key. And then you have to constantly innovate. You have to keep on finding your own USP, your unique selling principle. How are you different from other players in the market? What is in you so that customers will walk into you? So this is definitely one of the emerging career option which everyone can think of, other than doing traditional jobs in the market. And even if you are planning to do job immediately after graduation or a postgraduate degree, you can think of joining a new startup, because in startup it's very possible to get the different kind of exposure, which is not possible in a big sized organization or even in a corporate. Because in corporate or in big size organization, you are restricted to work only in your job profile, only in the function that you are supposed to handle. which is not the case in a new startup or in a new business, wherein you will get the variety of exposure. You can get an exposure to handle different functions, different systems. You will get an opportunity even to introduce something new in that startup. So is the scope that you will get, and your profile will definitely much more get widened due to this exposure. So that is where we are talking about on this platform, entrepreneurship and innovation as a career option. Now, before going into the depth of this particular emerging career opportunity, let's understand the different segments. So if we are talking about an entrepreneur, the person who wants to start on his or her own is the basic definition. Now, what is the keyword in this particular slide when we are talking about an entrepreneur is the risk-taking ability in the face of uncertainty. As we are talking about, today's environment is volatile, it's uncertain. You never know who will enter in the same product line or the service you are providing tomorrow, because the competition is very uncertain. And then risk is invariable there. Risk is not only there in the new startup or for an entrepreneur, but for every one of us, there is a risk. So what is important to know here is identify the risk, what kind of risk you are likely to face, and how you can cope up that risk, how you can face that particular risk, whether you have those skill sets and you have that ability to come across the risk or face it and come out of it in case at all you are facing that. So that is where the entrepreneurship is the one wherein you require a risk-taking ability, as well as you should have passion. Passion is very important. Again, as I'm saying, these keywords are not necessarily applicable only for the entrepreneurs, but for every one of us. Unless we don't have a passion to work, we cannot achieve our given mission. Mission is our purpose, what we have identified for ourselves. So to achieve this purpose, what is required is to have the passion within, so that you will take ownership, you will remain accountable for what you're doing, and also your ability to manage as well as take the risk what will come in your way. For example, if we talk about a startup like a restaurant, now in a restaurant, there is definitely a risk of running it. As you are providing the food, which is one of the perishable commodity, you have to maintain that properly. You should have the proper storage facility. Then you have to look after the risk of recycling that food on a given time. So these are the risks you're likely to face. Similarly, every industry, every startup has its own risk. Risk is not common to all. It will differ from place to place. What is important is to find out that, and you can definitely face it given you are prepared for that. Then there are small business owners who are contributing to the nation as well. They can be small startups, because not necessarily if you are talking about entrepreneurship, you have to always start with a big, or you have to always introduce a big organization with the great manpower over there. You can always start small, and then at a later stage, you can keep on expanding depending on your ability, how you can expand in future. So initially, you can become even a small market player. You can start on your own. First of all, if in case you are interested in starting on your own, if you are looking forward to the entrepreneurship as your career, it is important to generate the idea. Idea is the first step. You must be thinking about something in your mind. Sonia ma'am, you raised the hand. Any queries there?
Yeah, am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. A student has put in a query asking,
Okay,
is
sorry,
idea,
missed it.
is idea different from innovation, or is it the
Yes,
same?
yeah, it is different. Idea is just a thought in your mind. For example, you are thinking to start a gym. That's just an idea in your mind. Innovation is idea implemented into reality, because not all ideas are innovations. You may just have a thought in your mind. Sometimes that thought is workable or it is not workable. Sometimes creativity is just in your mind, but unless you judge the feasibility or evaluate that creativity, then only you can implement that. Once implemented, it becomes innovation. For example, making recruitment and selection online is just an idea in my mind. Unless I bring in an appropriate platform or a software to make it happen, then only it will become innovation. So is the difference. Any other question?
Okay, thanks a lot.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am. So you can always start small. At a small level, you can start a venture, and later you can keep on expanding depending on your capacity to expand. Then the manager within an organization also you can be intrapreneur. There is a difference between entrepreneurship and intrapreneurship. There are many companies who also promote or encourage the intrapreneurs. For example, there are companies like Infosys, TCS. They allow their employees to come out with the new ideas and start those either in the form of small consultancies or the projects, and they can open up separate wings over there, and they can share revenue with the companies. And why this is encouraged, why this concept has evolved over the time, because as we discussed, businesses can't afford to remain in only one product line or one particular service. They have to keep on constantly expanding and innovating. And that can only happen if you allow the existing employees in the organization who are creative, who have different ideas, to implement them as well. And then the company can definitely benefit in the long term. So managers also can be intrapreneurs, provided the organization would support it over there. So this is the basic premise of what we call as entrepreneurs, small business owners, and managers who can also be the entrepreneurs. Now, reasons why people pursue entrepreneurship, because it's like a eureka. Eureka is, all of us have heard it. It's a brilliant idea in our mind and we want to give it a try. Now, how will you how can we implement that idea into reality is a question. First, you have to think of an idea in a group, or you can do that alone. Then you have to evaluate or validate that idea through the certain steps. So there are steps related to the startup development. For example, initially it is just an idea. You have to conceptualize that idea. Now, how will you conceptualize? You will do the brainstorming, you will have the team of people, then you will take your idea to the incubation center. Incubation center is the one which will consist of the experts and industry mentors, and they will guide you. They will see the feasibility of your idea, whether it is workable in terms of market, whether it is workable in terms of finance, and all the aspects of the startup that are required to be evaluated. And then you can implement that into reality. Then you will create a business model. Once your idea is evaluated by the experts or the mentors, they will give you the proper guidelines. Then you can create a business model based on that. Now, business model consists of what? It will consist of a proper business plan, a hypothetical plan, which will talk about your entire startup, how you want to take it forward. It will consist of, for example, the entire summary of your business plan, which is called as an executive summary. That will consist of the product or the service you want to offer, title of your business plan. Then that will consist of the management summary, who are the owners, what is their background, what is their qualification. Then summary will consist of their profile, management profile. It will consist of the USP, what exactly is different in your particular product or the service. It is also called as a SWOT analysis. What are the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats related to your startup. Then it will consist of marketing. For example, who are the customers, what is their background, what is their age group, what is their profile, then what are their expectations. All that can be done via proper survey. You can do the sample survey to find out the marketing requisitions of your business. Then advertising and promotion, how you're going to advertise and promote your business, how will you reach to the customers, your positioning, how your product will be positioned in the market, what is your mission and vision statement. That all will come in the initial aspects of business model. Then going to the finance section, you will talk about the fund, how you are going to, how much investment will be there in this particular business. Suppose you say 10 lakhs, 20 lakhs, 50 lakhs, how you're going to raise that money, whether you are putting your own money or you will go to the institutions who will give you the loan, or you may approach the support institutions. For example, banks are there. You may go for the loan, then bank will ask you for the security or collateral. Are you prepared for that? Then you will approach the support institutions. There are several schemes. For example, there is Atal Incubation Center started by government, which will provide you support to start your own business, which will do the funding for your business. Then there is Vadvani Foundation, or there is National Entrepreneurship Network. There are several kind of support systems. You can identify them and approach them for the loan. And then in how much time you can repay that loan, when you will reach to break even, all that will come under the finance. Then the legal aspects of your business. For example, what are the guidelines? If you want to start a shop, you will come under Shops and Establishment Act. If you want to start a pharma company, then there is National Pharmaceutical Authority of India, which will decide your pricing. So that you have to identify what are the legal guidelines for your business. Then talking about the manpower, how much people are needed in a, for example, if it is a restaurant, what is kind of manpower you require? You require waiters, cashiers, etc. Likewise, for your business, you have to find out how many number of people and how will you identify them. What are the activities that are happening in your startup will decide how many people you want to bring in the organization initially. And then the operational parts. If it is a product, then what is the layout of your company? If it is a service from where you are operating, how will you make the website? All that will come under the operations. And then last part is the exit. In case the business does not sustain in the long term, are you ready with the exit plan? So you have to think that in the initial phase, if you want to start your own, and you will get proper guidance. Incubation Center will guide you to start this particular venture, and it will also assess the business model that is made by you. Now, what is the basic advantage of being an entrepreneur? There is no boss for you. You are the boss. So in case you have the leadership abilities, you can definitely get into entrepreneurship, wherein you will get a lot of opportunity to implement your ideas and to get executed by them, by the people. Then again, becoming rich is in your hand. Again, you have to define the richness as well. How you want to become rich, whether by giving services to the society, if entrepreneurship is your passion, or you want to earn money, because the basic objective of any business is to make profit. But you have to simultaneously remember, while making profit, you are a part of society as well. So do you want to give back something to the society? What is your motto? First, you have to decide what is your mission. Mission is your basic purpose. For example, your purpose is to give charity to the society, you can start an NGO. If your purpose is to give the healthcare facilities, you can think about a medicine. Or your purpose is something contributing to the beauty industry, you can start the parlor. If your purpose is to make people fit and healthy, you can start a nutrition business, or you can start a gym. So it is on you. What is your purpose? That first you have to identify. Based on that purpose, you can think of different ideas and creations. It is definitely glamorous and exciting, provided you believe so. So that urge has to be within you. No one else can tell you to become an entrepreneur. There has to be an urge within you, and then definitely the sky is limit. In fact, sky is not the limit. You can go anywhere of your choice. You can take guidance of experts and get it assessed, and definitely you will get support. But there has to be that inner passion or fire within you. You can definitely get a good satisfaction. You can get professional growth. You can definitely responsibility will be multifold, because if you are working in a company, you are responsible only for your job, your future. If you are an entrepreneur, you are responsible for the entire startup and the future of each and everyone who is a part of it. But definitely you will get flexibility and freedom to work as per your choices. You can decide the work pattern, you can decide the schedule, you can create the culture for the organization and so on. Yes, Sonia ma'am. So you raise your hand again. Or should we proceed?
Yeah. Am I audible now?
Yes.
Yeah. Students are interested in knowing, how does like one earn from social entrepreneurship?
Yes, social entrepreneurship also is one of the big field, wherein if you want to contribute to the society, now there are several opportunities available in the NGOs as well as in rural areas, where agriculture is one of the major sector in our country. So there is availability of huge land. There are people in the rural area as well who want to get assistance, like for example, farmers. Farmers are looking for the assistance in automation. Or you can also join an NGO who is looking forward charity to the society. So social entrepreneurship is also one area, but you have to identify what kind of purpose you have in mind if you want to contribute to the society. And accordingly, you can either approach NGOs or you can approach the rural sections of the country, and you can find out what are the challenges and problems over there in the midst of this social environment. For example, even the environment today is one of the biggest challenge. Pollution is highly increasing. So you can approach such people who are already serving, and you can either join hands with them, you can work with them initially if you don't have any experience or the prior background, and then you can start your own as well in future. Yeah, should we proceed? So these are various opportunities available in the market. If you are from technical background, the product and services can be introduced by you. And if you have that particular skill, if you have learned the technology, Manufacturing is one area wherein you can manufacture the product or create a new product in case the society wants that. But provided you have the background and right qualification for that. Selling is also one of the kind of entrepreneurship. You can take up the existing products. You can take the franchisee as well. For example, there are players like McDonald's or Naturals ice cream. They have the model of standardization. So you can go for such franchisee as well as an entrepreneur, or you can start your own small firm as well, or a small startup initially to begin with. Then I will also talk about the different opportunities in various careers and different sectors where you can undertake the entrepreneurship ventures or think of starting on your own, provided you have interest in that. Now, what are the advantages and disadvantages? As we spoke about, risk is invariably there. So there may not be stable income, which is possible in case of job. But here you have an opportunity to make the profit provided you work in the right direction. Then there is no definition of fixed hours, which is a disadvantage as well as advantage, wherein you get an opportunity to innovate and make something new. Then all expenses are yours because you have to bear the liability as well. As an entrepreneur, when you create the balance sheet will consist of assets as well as liabilities. So for example, manpower, you have appointed them, but initially there is no work to do. So their salary becomes your liability. If you have inventory, assuming that there will be demand for products you will manufacture, but they are not sold, that becomes your inventory. So, but you have to take this risk and go ahead. You can't definitely avoid any risk anywhere. It is there in the job, so it is there in entrepreneurship as well. So that is where these risks are likely to come. Initial costs are high for a new startup. But you have to understand whether you have the capacity to handle them, and in the long term, you can definitely control them provided you go in the right direction. So that is where risks are definitely there. These are few more risk: work schedule, administration, which you have to take and understand, as well as if you take them properly and right time, you can definitely overcome them. Now, as we spoke about success, there are definitely going to be failures in the way, but there's no need to get bogged down by the failures. They will come in a way, you will handle them, and you can definitely move on. Because no startup, business, or even job is free of failures. There are going to be failures. For example, debt is one of the failure. In case you take the loan, paying that on time is also one of the biggest challenge, which you have to do with the proper management of the people and the services that you are giving. There could be initially mismanagement, lack of professionalism that is invariably there if you're a new startup. So you have to make down a proper plan how you can avoid this kind of issues. There are some issues which definitely or challenges you cannot avoid. They will invariably come in your way, but then overcoming them is also very important skill. For that, you have to be patient. You have to have the patience. That is one of the major skill. You have to have the passion, and you have to have the risk-bearing capacity. Then selling products below cost will be initial challenge because there are already competitors. So suddenly you can't hike your price beyond them. Otherwise, people will not come to you because they are not tested you. They don't know you. So initially, you may have to sell your services or products at the low cost. That might add to your losses. There will be inadequate inventory, or working capital will be one of the issue. Profits might decline at time. But then these are the risks which are likely to come, and you have to take them. You have to answer these questions basically. Next slide is talking about your mindset and skill that is required for a entrepreneurial success. Are you a self-starter? This is the question you have to answer. Are you a positive thinker? This is another question you have to answer. Are you disciplined? Because discipline is very important in any kind of venture. And can you be objective? Objective means you are not taking everything personal. Are you objective in looking forward to the things? Then traits are gaining respect of the peers, believe and trust in yourself. That is very important trait. Follow a plan. Planning is very important here. Now, at times plan might fail, but you have to keep on doing alternative plan in place so that you can implement plan B if plan A doesn't work. Then thinking creatively, you have to think out of the box. If you can't, you have to have the people with you who can think out of the box. Then explore their exceptional skills. What are the skills of the people who are with you? You can utilize them at right time. Then envision for the success. You have to plan the success and accordingly look forward to that. And never give up attitude. That is very must in entrepreneurship. The minute you start giving up, you are a failure. So that is where you have to be constantly on top of your motivation. Again, communication is very important skill. You have to be good at accounting. I mean, calculation as well. Little calculation you should know so that you can know how you can sustain your business in the market. And it's not like these skills are very extraordinary and rocket science that they can't be learned. You can definitely learn them provided you have the passion within you. Everything requires a passion at the end of the day. So you can learn these skills. Problem solving is one skill. You may come across the challenge or the situation. Customers will suddenly come to you and they will complain about the product, but you have to be good at problem solving. Technology, you should know what are the coming updates in the market, how the technology is changing, which type of technology will suit you. Then you have to be good at decision making as well. You should take decisions on time, timely decisions, decisions based on ethics and values. They are very important in any business. Then proper organizing and planning of the things in advance. Planning includes, for example, how much manpower you require, what are their roles and duties, when you will pay them, what is the schedule for the work, etc. Organizing is putting the staff in place, organizing the things. Then teamwork. You should be good at teamwork as well, because in entrepreneurship, you can't manage to work in isolation. You have to work with a group of people. Then you have to be a social person. Adaptability is flexible. You should be flexible to accept the new changes that are coming in the market. And you should have the basic business sense or basic business skill. So these are the skills. And as we said, they can be definitely learned over the times. Now, what is the awareness that is required? You should be aware about the trends and technology. That is a predictor of growth. Now, these are some articles which I'll post in the chat box as well after the session is over, which you can read on your own and understand. The articles are talking about what are the growth trends in the market post-pandemic as well as before that. Then there is article related to the different kind of trends that entrepreneurs are coming across and how you can utilize these trends to make your business successful. For example, there is internet business. Today we are talking about the virtual business. When earlier the companies were doing manual work, particularly post-pandemic, we have seen now they have introduced the hybrid work culture, wherein they are taking employees physically at workplace for few days or few hours, and rest of the time they can work online also. So it's a hybrid work culture. It is service business is one of the emerging trend. There are various services companies are offering. Home-based business is another trend wherein you need not have a shop or the place to start your business. You can start from home as well. For example, if anybody is interested in starting counseling services, career counseling, you can do that from home as well. Or someone wants to do coaching, you can do from home as well. Then social entrepreneurship, which is non-profit business, that if that is your interest, you can accordingly explore those segments like NGO, rural areas where you want to contribute to the society. Then technology is one of the important change which will happen constantly. You should know what is the technology applicable for your business. Then you should know about the outsourcing, which is the latest trend. Suppose you start automobile place, you can outsource certain work to the supply chain. Then you should know whom you can outsource, what is your supply chain. Then whom you can partner with, that is strategic alliance, who can be collaborated with you. Then how you can start a new venture by remaining inside the organization, as I told you about entrepreneurship. So these are the trends which are there in the market today. You can identify which one is applicable, and accordingly you can go ahead with starting your own venture, or you may work with the startup initially and later you can float on your own. Now, these are some opportunities like professional development opportunities depending on your industry or the business choice. For example, if you're interested in tech industry, opportunities are different. If you're interested in healthcare, again, it is different. Digital media is one of the very emerging field today. There are a lot of opportunities in the digital segment as well. So you can look forward this kind of associations, and you can take it forward. You can use even social media. For example, Facebook, LinkedIn is very common today. Many tech industries are also using a lot of online platforms. For example, Facebook. Facebook is today metaverse, wherein you can create your own avatars and you can practically visit anywhere in the world. You can be present in that particular location virtually. Even many universities and colleges are doing it to the large extent. For example, there is one school here in Mumbai. Earlier, in a history, you were taught the Mohenjo-daro and Harappa evolution. We were taught through the book of history, how actually it happened over the time. Now here they created a virtual place wherein they took the people to that actual city and they showed them entire city and people visited there virtually. And then there is the questions on how that particular evolution happened. So is the impact of this virtual training nowadays. So you can definitely use these social media platforms to make it more successful. Yeah. So this is also one video, which is a good video by Mr. Ratan Tata, who is the founder of Tata Group of Industries. I'll share this link as well in the chat box. You may pick up from there and you can watch this video wherein he's talking about the entrepreneurship and innovation as a career, and he's guiding all the young graduates who are interested in coming up into the entrepreneurship and innovation. They can think something new and what is the direction towards that. So it's a good video on taking the guidance and going through his words of wisdom. I'll share this link with you. Coming to the innovation, as we said, it's all about innovation. You can't sustain without knowing what innovations are or without implementing the one. So you're talking about processes, for example, as we spoke about banking industry or the departmental processes that may be innovated. Development is continuous today. You have to keep on constantly upskilling and upgrading yourself. You can't sustain without upskilling. For example, you are doing some graduation in some field. Simultaneously, you have to constantly upskill. You have to get more information related to that particular graduation that you are doing, or the industry trends, what the business is looking forward, what are the skills over the time that you need to learn or acquire, additional certifications if you want to do to upgrade yourself, like today Coursera, Udemy, they're all online. So you can get those certifications also in your kitty, and your profile can be enhanced. Inspiration is again very important. You should have one icon who will inspire you, who will give you more suggestions and ideas. They can be your teachers as well, not necessarily they will be the big icons. They can be your teachers who are guiding you in the proper direction. They can be your parents as well. Then we are talking about vision. Vision is your long-term goal, where you want to be in future. Then what is your mission? Why you exist? What is your purpose? Then what growth you are looking forward in future. So all these are the elements of innovation one should know, and accordingly you can definitely uh, bring them, or you can implement them. Now this is one assignment. It's the last slide. If you are interested, you can definitely do this exercise. You may take a snapshot of this and later you can do that at your convenience. So these questions you need to answer for your own self, not for anyone else. What are your interests? That is what you are interested or inclined towards. What is your passion in short? What are your hobbies, what you like other than the basic graduation or any degree that you are pursuing? What are your talents? Talent is what you are good at. Then list at least 3 possible business startup ideas that would incorporate the above. We see business idea, if it consists of above, that is your interest, hobby, and talents, it is always good, because that is something in tune with what you are as a person, and that will sustain in the long term. If you think of some idea which is not taking into cognizance your interest, hobbies, and talents, short term it might succeed. You may become a successful entrepreneur, but that if that is something which is not within you, long term you may not go ahead. So if your business idea comes from these 3 verticals, it is always good to go ahead. Then what personal talents and skills are needed to start the business? As we spoke on different talents and skills. Plus you can also browse through more articles. Today Google is answer for everything. So you can find out from Google various skills and trends or talents that is needed. Then you can consult experts who are available to guide you, your mentors, and you can take their guidance constantly. Then what kind of training is needed for that? Then what are your duties and responsibilities in that particular venture? And what are the top 3 rewards of entrepreneurship for you personally? Because for everyone, the rewards of entrepreneurship are different. Someone is looking it as a passion to devote something to the society. Someone is looking forward to make the money out of it. Someone wants to bring something new in the market. So for everyone, the rewards and recognition is different. So you have to identify your own reward. If you want to become a new entrepreneur, what are the top 3 rewards according to you? So if you do this exercise diligently and religiously, definitely you can think of something new and come out with something new. Yeah, that's all from my side. Now we may take up the questions and answers. Meanwhile, I'll just text in the chat box the links, and you may go through that video as well later. It's a good video on how the entrepreneurship and innovation is defined by Mr. Tata. You can just put this in the chat box and we can take the questions. Yeah, the YouTube link is here. You can watch at your convenience later anytime. Yes, we are open to questions in case anyone has any. You can put in the chat box or you can directly talk here by unmuting yourself.
Yeah, students, am I audible? Okay,
Yeah,
you can
ma'am.
ask your questions, students. आप हमारे speaker से जो पूछना चाहें, please feel free to ask.
I am posting one more link of different careers in as far as innovation is concerned in the technology, then how different designations are related to the innovations and what are the common industries that also all can go through and understand from there. So this is the link on that.
Yeah, Sonika, are you there?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, take over, please.
Yeah. So good afternoon, everyone. So I really feel privileged to propose formal vote of thanks today. So first of all, on behalf of PGTAV College Evening, I would like to extend heartfelt gratitude to today's speaker, Dr. Harshada Mule, for sparing her valuable time and delivering such insightful lecture on a very pertinent topic, entrepreneurship and innovation as a career. Dr. Mule started her lecture with the importance of innovation in today's volatile environment by quoting examples of companies such as Reliance and Tata. She pointed out to the fact that innovation has become all the more important in the scenario where customers are exhibiting switching behavior and it is difficult to retain their loyalty towards our brand. She clarified the differences between entrepreneurs, small business owners, and managers, then idea and innovation, and then entrepreneur and intrapreneur. Then she explained that how an entrepreneur can innovate by setting up a startup. She also elaborated the process of converting an idea into successful business. She also listed out the reasons that why people pursue entrepreneurship, particularly social entrepreneurship. Then ma'am explained about opportunities, risks, and disadvantages associated with entrepreneurship and also pointed out the reasons of failures and how these can be handled by developing skills required for successful entrepreneurship. Then she concluded her lecture by pointing out towards the trends which are prevalent in today's market scenario and the key attributes which are required for innovation. So once again, I thank you, ma'am, for sparing your valuable time and accepting our invitation for today's webinar.
Thank you. Thanks, Dr. Sonika, and thanks everyone for giving this opportunity.
Then I would like to thank our dynamic principal, Professor R.K. Gupta sir, for his constant support and encouragement in organizing such programs in the college. Then I would like to express my gratitude towards the coordinator of this webinar from ITM Business School, Ms. Laibal Faruqi, for organizing such fruitful talk in our college. So ma'am, we look forward to such association in future too. Then I am extremely grateful to Ms. Sonia Jhingra, the president of IIC and the convener of Enactors, for her unflinching support and able guidance in organizing this webinar successfully. Then I would like to thank all the faculty members of SIEC and other professors for sparing their valuable time in attending this webinar. I would like to appreciate the efforts of our office bearers team, Kunal, Vaibhav, Pramod Chandra, Shankar and Harsh, who worked tirelessly for making this webinar a success. Then last but not the least, I would like to thank our beloved students for exhibiting such zeal and enthusiasm and turning up in large numbers to make this webinar a success. So once again, thank you everyone.
Thank you. Thanks everyone. I can
So we
leave, right?
wind up. Yeah, please continue.
Okay. Thank you. Thanks.
Okay, so looking forward to many more webinars from ITM institution. Thank you, Dr. Harshada. Thank you,
Thanks.
Laiba. So फिर दोबारा जरूर मिलेंगे on
Yeah,
some
definitely.
occasion and some topic.
Definitely. Thank you very much. Thanks.